Radical.
You read the title of this. I'm not sure if I dropped an F-bomb in the title, but Meineke is expensive as... Wait a second. If I say the F word in the first minute or two, then bad old YouTube is going to demonetize this. And already I got some UB40 playing in the background, so that might cause at least a profit sharing or whatever, but I don't know. So I might drop an F-bomb in a 2 or 3 minute mark or something like that when talking about how expensive Meineke is. So I went to Meineke for just a simple belt install on my 2010 Chevy Impala. I went for a belt install, and that was about maybe $140. I provided the belt. And I'm not sure how difficult it is to put a belt on a vehicle, but I'm thinking like $140 just to put on a belt seems a bit much. Seems a bit high. It does, right? Now, I've talked to you about trying to avoid high auto mechanic bills if it's possible that you can. Generally, if you go to a place and they don't charge a whole lot to do a job for you, then that means most jobs there are not going to cost that much, with some exceptions, of course. And if you go to a place like Meineke and they charge you $140, $150 to put on a belt that you provide, chances are anything more extensive is going to be quite a bit of moolah. Remember I talked about how there's this one shop I went to, which I'm not going there anymore for various reasons. They put on 2 front motor mounts for me, and I think the rate, it took them like 20 minutes. Somehow it came down to like maybe $400, $500 an hour because it only took them so long. I just factor that in and whatnot. So I'm not going back to them. Meineke, though, could potentially be worse. Now, there are some positive things I have to say about Meineke that I'll get out of the way before I talk about their pricing. One is, generally, there are a lot of different locations. I think they're located, chances are you're not far away from a Meineke. It's a chain, so there's a lot of them. The sign it's yellow. Let's see. I like the color yellow. I'm trying to get some positive things to say. The person that I dealt with, very friendly. So it seems like they're very friendly there. They're very friendly. You get that chained feel, like you're going into a chained place, like a chain. I'm trying to find really nice things to say before I get into the bad things. One big positive is they have some skilled technicians. They do, in my experience. Now, your experience might vary, but they have the tools and they can tell you what's wrong with your vehicle. This 94 Sentra that I am desperately trying to get back to a point of, I don't know if there's ever a point in super glory. It is a 94 Sentra, but you got to understand, I love that 94 Sentra. It's been in my family forever, and I'm carrying on the tradition of the mighty 94 Sentra. Don't laugh about 94 Sentra, because they're great cars. They have wonderful handling. They're gas sippers, and they're relatively zippy and speedy to only take a certain amount of gas. And you can feel the road really nice. They take well to modifications, like just putting on some headers, for instance, just seem to open it up a bit, a header and a full exhaust system. And mostly Nissan was quality in the 90s, and these cars are relatively easy to work on. At least I thought. That's what I've heard from a lot of mechanics. They're relatively easy to work on. The older Nissans, maybe not the newer ones, but the older ones are. They're fairly simple, basic, and straightforward. And mostly, if you've seen modified 94 Sentras, they are really sharp-looking vehicles. They really are. They don't have that big, boxy, chunky design of the new Sentras that looks, I don't know. I'm just an enthusiast. I'm an enthusiast for those vehicles, the 240SXs, the 300ZXs, and everything. And I've seen some modified Sentras that look very nice. And I'm sure they're pretty fast. So, like I said, they take well to mods. People put turbos on them all the time, I had aspirations and dreams for this vehicle and I was going to have it be like some of those great modified Sentras. But I'm just happy driving it as it is, too. We all have a car or a truck that's special to us that other people might say, why are you still driving that thing? Why are you still fixing that up? We all have a car or truck or van or motorcycle that's near and dear to our hearts. And we want to keep those vehicles running and on the road. But there's a point you get to where you're like, damn, I think I better shop around when it comes to the pricing. So I'm gonna get to it. Okay. So I was quoted. I'm only having them do the one job because I think it's kind of dirty to have it there and then bring it back home without doing anything there. If they've used their time to look up everything is wrong with it, they put machines on it. I don't think they're going to charge me for that, but damn, if they charge me for the hookup and doing the test and whatnot, then that would kind of suck. But hopefully those are just free. I'm hoping. I don't think they did a fuel pressure test. I think my fuel pump is fine. Sorry today. I just can't seem to. Yeah, I'm also like got some candy. I'm kind of like chewing on too. My apologies. The pricing took me long enough to get here. I'm just trying to. I'm still shocked. I'm still in a state of shock. You can tell by bringing up what their pricing would be on having an O2 sensor put on and a distributor put on. Now, they would get the parts and put them on, but for an O2 sensor, which is about $30 at your local parts store, and for a distributor, which, I mean, it can be more than like $200. I'm going to look this up in real time. You bear with me. Bear with me, okay? Can you hear the UB40 in the background? It's very relaxing. They did the red, red wine. Damn it. I just forgot I can't sing. I'm a great talker, but I can't sing to save my fucking life. Okay. 94 Central Distributor. Okay. I'm seeing the higher ones, and this is all over the place on the pricing. Okay, I'm going to look up in the parts store what this would be. Because remember, we got the O2 sensor, which was around $30, and a distributor, which is, all right, okay, around $200 for a remanufactured distributor. So we got, let's say, maximum $250 for an O2 sensor and a distributor. Now, I'm not a mechanic, but a distributor is on the very top of the vehicle. And I know you have to line them up, which might take some doing. You have to line them up and put the spark plug wires on them. And then you have the O2 sensor down below, which really, if you have like a breaker bar or something that can break that bolt, that's something I could probably put in, but I know there's some issues with the threads. It's kind of the job I don't want to do. Like I'll put on like a mass airflow sensor or some vacuum lines or something like that, but there's certain things I kind of like having shops do. 250 in parts we got right here. They were quoting me over $1,000 to put these two things on. So that's $750 in labor to put on an O2 sensor and a distributor. What the fuck? And it doesn't just stop there. The first thing they noticed, which was the tech looked at it, I had a list that I gave them. I guess he didn't even look at that, but he said the starting point would be the timing on the vehicle. I'm like, I know the timing's probably a little bit off for me, but the problem I was having with the 94 Central was it was stopping off at lights and in incredibly hot weather, which made me think it might be something in the fuel system, the fuel pump. So I put down a lot of possible things it could be, which is EGR valve, various things. And then I wrote down all the things I've replaced on that vehicle. I've replaced thousands of parts on that vehicle. Again, because I'm dedicated to try to get this thing back to a new form of glory. It's a project, okay? It's a glorious project car. So I don't mind spending a little bit of money on it. I'm not a broke guy, so I got the money to spend on it. But as a businessman, I'm a flea marketer, I'll be damned if I'm paying a lot more than I need to at a shop. So he quoted and he said 10 hours labor to redo the timing on this. And I think you have to go down to the teeth, and I know you have to mark something. So I'm sure it's an intensive job to do the timing. Over $2,000 to do the timing. So if he were going to do the timing, and then this other job, the O2 sensor and the distributor, that would be over $3,000. I'll be damned if I'm spending that much at that just for that. The timing was the thing that got me. Over $2,000 for timing? Fuck, the engine I bought and installed was like around $2,000. So I'll be damned if they're going to try to because what would be the hour charge on that? Let's say 10 hours, 2,000. Is that $200 an hour? $200 an hour labor for adjusting timing? You fucking kidding me? And he tried to kind of defend it. Like I didn't lose my cool with him, but he tried to defend it saying and he had an accent. Well, you have your timing and then you have to do it. And then, it's a very invasive. And he's trying to explain to me. And I'm thinking I want to sit in with you guys and I want to watch you do it. I want to get some popcorn and actually watch you guys do it for 10 hours. I'd be like, I will pay you $2,000, but I want to watch the process. So if I ever need to adjust the timing myself, I can do it and save $2,000, right? So here's what I did do. And here's my tip to a lot of you that are in a situation where you bring one of your older vehicles in for maintenance and they give you these large fees and it sums up there. Get the cheapest thing done there because it's kind of a bad look to, leave without nothing being done there. So, or just come up with something that you remember that you might need it. Like, you know what? I could really use an oil change before anything else. Or, do you guys sell tires? I think I need 2 new tires or something like that, right? The cheaper things. Because they did take their time to check your vehicle out, that's invaluable. Not every shop has these kind of machines or these specialists, these techs that can actually zero in on things. I said earlier that if there's a shop you went to and the price was low, generally it's going to be low on a lot of different things. Call another shop. And this other guy, he didn't quote prices, but I know he's not going to charge a lot to put on a distributor. He's not. He's always fair to me. He's the one guy I mentioned that put on a fuel filter for me for $15. Dude, you can't beat that. Someone putting on a fuel filter for you for $15? I was shocked when I saw that bill because I thought there would be a 0 on the end of the 5. No, $15. When you find a shop like that, you make sure that you keep everything on the up and up, that you don't make them angry. Make sure you don't. Don't try to rush them on a job. Be like, hey, I know you're a busy man. I know you're busy. And just take care of whatever you can, right? Because you're getting a discount. And same thing applies to when you find a good woman or good man for some of you ladies out there. When you find a good woman or a good man, you wrap your arms around them and you got a good fucking deal. Got a beautiful woman, not cheating on you, true and blue, cleans around the house. You got a guy that does yard work, doesn't cheat on you, kills all the bugs. You hold on to them with both hands, clasp, because you got something good. You got something good. One more thing I'll add to this is, there's something else that seemed like I wanted to add to this. Here's another tip. Try to get you the same car twice. It sounds silly, but if you have one car that, let's say, blows a head gasket, then you have a parts car for the other car, especially if they're older cars. So I'm going to save me some money by taking the distributor off. That's why there might be a delay in my planned uploads for the day. I was planning to have a couple uploads today. I'm going to go out there and take a distributor off, which I can do, which is not terribly that difficult. And sometimes you can actually call for tips and advice from these mechanics and say, hey, do I need a breaker bar for this one? Or is that something I can get off myself? And they'll actually, walk you through it in a couple minutes just to save them the time of doing it. I'm getting that distributor off and I ask, would you mind if I took that distributor off this other car and you put it on since it was functioning well before the head gasket blew in this other 94 Sentra? And he said, sure will. So yeah, like that's cool too. A lot of shops, they don't even like you bringing in parts because let's just say they want to make a lot of money and everything. Um, yeah. So that's all I got to tell you about Meineke. Really, my review of Meineke is, I would say again, great customer service, great for checking your car out, but be prepared to do a switcheroo and actually just say, you know what, I'll come back to you later on that one, but I definitely do need a new set of tires today. Right? That's my tip there.